Hi, welcome back. I'm Teresa Harding. If I were to ask you, could it really be that simple? That it's the words you say that are destroying your dream? Do you really think that's possible? Am I making it up? Is it just something that there's no way it can be that simple? Is it so much more complicated than that? It actually isn't. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you how. The power of words is often underestimated, but their impact on our lives is profound. The way we speak to ourselves and to other people can either propel us forward towards our dream or it can destroy them. It can literally destroy them. Negative self-talk and harmful words can hold us back and prevent us from achieving our goals. And on the other hand, conversely, positive self-talk and affirmations done in a healthy way, let me say, can help us manifest our dreams and create the reality we desire. Because you can't just do affirmations and say that, for example, there's a famous one that says, how does it go? I am a money magnet. Money flows to me. Well, that's not true. And that affirmation doesn't require you to commit to anything. It's just hoping some wish that the universe will take care of it. An affirmation needs to make sure that it includes commitment that you have, what your part in this is, and the possibility. And the impossibility can be whatever other people think is impossible. It doesn't matter what it is, because the impossible can be made possible. The way we talk to ourselves can totally make a difference in how we manifest what it is that we want. When we speak negatively about ourselves or our dreams, we send a message to our subconscious mind that reinforces limiting beliefs. This can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy. You think that's not true? You look around you. People who talk negatively about themselves or their dreams or what's possible, they are living the lives that they talk about. That's exactly what they're living. We will never be able to achieve what we truly desire if we continue to talk negatively about it, because we have convinced ourselves that it's impossible. If you really believe something is impossible, do you think you'll ever make it happen? Of course you won't. That will never happen. Our words have the power to shape our reality. Let me say that again. Did you get what I just said? Our words have the power to shape our reality. You look at your reality and you see it a certain way. I look at mine and I see it a certain way. And I can guarantee you the people who can use that power to manifest what they want and speak positively about what they are going to achieve. I can take 100 people and I can tell you which ones are going to be successful just by the way they talk. And we have to be mindful of the way we speak if we want to create the life that we envision. Anything is possible. So today I'm going to share with you 10 different words. These are just single words that people say that lead to the destruction of their dreams. And I'm going to give you an explanation of each one and an example of how someone might use them in a destructive way. Now, as you listen to these 10 words, I want you to pick at least one. If you can handle doing 3, I want you to pick 3. But if that's too much, just pick one. Pick one that you know that you say. I don't care if you say it all the time. I don't care if you say it sometimes. You pick the one that you are the worst at, the one that you say all the time. And I want you to pick that one. And I want you to work so hard to stop saying this word. The first word is can't. This word is limiting and it creates a mindset of impossibility. There is absolutely no possible way something can be done if you use the word can't. When we use that word, we are essentially giving up before we even try. Or you might think, well, I've been trying and it doesn't work, so now I say I can't. You use can't anywhere along the process and you just gave up. And I promise you, you will not reach your dream. For example, if someone says, I can't start my own business because I don't have enough money, they've already given up on their dream without exploring alternative options. And if you tell yourself the story, yeah, but it's true, you're just doing it again. You're just reinforcing the exact same thing, because I promise you, it isn't true. And people will sometimes ask, well, so what story should I tell myself then? And if you've been listening to me very long, you've heard me say this before. What story should you tell yourself? I don't care, make it up. The story you told yourself you made up. I made it the story that I would be successful. I'll be the biggest person in my business that's ever been. I'm gonna walk down the hallway. Guess what? You made that up. Make up whatever story you want, because you're telling yourself new stories all the time. You decide what the story is going to be. Why make it a negative one? Why not just tell yourself a positive one, even if it feels crazy at first? Because I promise you, the people who have achieved crazy things, they set a crazy dream at first. Bill Gates, his dream was crazy. People thought he was crazy. Steve Jobs, his dream was crazy. But he achieved it because he kept saying he was going to do it. And guess what happens in your brain? When you let your brain be open to the possibility, your brain puts together ideas and thoughts that it's unbelievable. It's like magic if you just stop saying these words. The second word is never. I know some of you say it, and I've done it too. This word is final. It creates a sense of permanence. When we use the word never, we're basically closing the door on the possibility of achieving our dreams. For example, if someone says, I'll never be able to lose weight, they're essentially giving up on their health and their wellness goals before they even get started, or in the middle, or whenever you decide to say never. The third word is impossible. Seriously, it almost makes me want to gag to say that word out loud, because I will tell you what, my husband will vouch for this. I can't stand it when someone says that something is impossible. Someone says it can't be done. It literally makes me want to gag. I am not even kidding. And it's because I've practiced for so many years, never allowing that in my life. When people say it can't be done, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard, scratching, and it's so funny because we were working with some people on our house. We were doing some remodeling. It was a pretty big remodel. And as we were talking about something that I wanted to do, I was excited about this grand, big idea. And they said, well, that can't be done. And my husband looked at me. I didn't even say a word. He looked at me and we had this look on his face like, uh-oh, because he knows I can't stand it. Tell me what it would take to do it. It might cost $5 million and I may decide, oh, okay, that's a lot and I don't want to do it. Then it's not worth it. Then my choice is I won't do it. But don't tell me it can't be done. We can rip the whole thing down and do whatever we have to do to make it happen. But don't tell me it can't be done, because that is not true. When we say the word impossible, that word creates a sense of defeat. You're already defeated. You're already hopeless. And when we use the word impossible, we're essentially saying that our dreams are not attainable. We cannot do it. For example, if someone says, it's impossible for me to become a successful author, they're essentially giving up on their passion for writing. It gives them an excuse to not have to do it. Maybe what's hiding under there is a fear of being rejected, or a fear of not being good enough, a fear of being laughed at, a fear of trying and it didn't work, or they weren't as good as they thought they were. Whatever is behind it, I don't know, because we're human and we all have something behind these words. There's something. Don't use the word impossible. Number 4 is the word should. The word should creates a sense of obligation and pressure and duty. It's not, I'm excited and I'm going to go and achieve this thing because I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. When we use the word should, we are essentially telling ourselves that we're not doing something we should do. We're not enough. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. So for example, if someone says, I should be working harder on my business, they're basically creating unnecessary pressure and stress for themselves. It was interesting. I'm reading this book. It's a biography on M. Russell Ballard, who was an apostle of the Lord for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he was talking with one of his mentors, and his mentor was so positive, and there was so much work to be done. And his mentor is someone who works for the Lord Jesus Christ and the Heavenly Father. Talk about pressure. It could be pressure because of all the things I feel like I'm supposed to be doing for God and for Jesus Christ. Well, guess what? He was so positive that M. Russell Ballard asked him, he said, so tell me how you keep this positive attitude. How do you act the way you act when there's so much and there's a lot of work to do? And this is what he said. He said, oh, I just do the best I can. I don't worry about this. This isn't my church. It's God's church. I'll let him worry about it. I just do my best every day. And I thought, oh my goodness, if we could just have that attitude, because guess what? If we just did our best each day, and that doesn't mean over-the-top craziness. Some days are, but it just means doing your best each day. We can each do that. Can you do one day where you do the best you can? Maybe that day, the best you can do is to not harm your children. We all know that we are human and life is hard. Some days, my best is darn good. And some days, my best is not very much at all. It depends on the day. And I'll tell you what, I keep going. You just keep going. If you need to take time for you, if you need to take time to grieve, do those things. Be in that state. Be in a liminal state for the time period that you need to make a decision. But don't sit there in your comfort zone doing nothing, and don't put too much pressure on yourself by acting like, well, this is what I should be. This is what I should have done. This is where I should have gone. This is what I should have said. Stop doing that. The fifth word is the word but. B-U-T. And I love Sean Stevenson's book. Sean Stevenson is amazing. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. He has passed away now, but he's amazing. And he has a book with this word, B-U-T. It's called Get Off Your Butt. And he has a book with a title using this word, B-U-T. It's called Get Off Your Butt. How to End Self-Sabotage and Stand Up for Yourself. In the book, he talks about stop using it as an excuse. Yeah, but. Every time you use this word, it negates everything that comes before it. Doesn't matter how many good things you say before it. Doesn't matter how many things you dream and act like you can accomplish and act like you're going to go after. The minute you say the word but, you just got rid of everything you just said. When we use the word but, we are essentially dismissing everything we said up to that point. So for example, if someone says, I want to start my own business, but I don't have the time. They are giving up on their dream without exploring alternative options. Now, have you noticed this common theme that's coming up? So, for example, if somebody says, I want to start my own business, but I don't have the time. Well, guess what? They just gave up on their dream without exploring alternative solutions. Now, have you noticed a common theme coming up? The common theme is you're giving up on exploring alternative solutions. As soon as you say any of these words, you immediately let go of the possibility that there might be another way. And if you don't say these words, now the possibility is still open, and your brain is now still looking for a way to come up with another solution. The sixth word is the word try. When you say the word try, this creates this attitude of uncertainty and doubt. When you use this word, what happens is we start giving ourselves an out in case we fail. Well, I'll try. Because guess what? If it doesn't work out, well, I tried. At least I tried. If someone says, I'll try to start my own business, or I'll try to mend that relationship, or I'll try to work on being kinder to my sister. Try what? Try schmai. Stop it. You're basically not willing to fully commit. I am going to. I'm not going to try. Even Yoda said there is no try. He didn't like that word. Number 7 is maybe. This word is kind of like try. It creates this sense of ambiguity and indecision. When we use the word maybe, we are not fully committing to our dreams or our goals, just like when we use the word try. For example, if someone says, well, maybe I'll work on my relationship with my husband, or maybe we'll be able to make this better. Maybe I'll be able to go visit my sister, but I can't afford it. The 8th word is someday. This one makes me almost feel anxious. Someday. This word allows you to delay and procrastinate. Well, someday I'll do that. Well, it takes 5 more words maybe to decide a date, decide a deadline. Okay, I'm going to do it. You don't have to decide today. You don't have to decide tomorrow, but don't wait till next week. At least look when you're going over your weekly calendar and you have goals and you have dreams. Decide what you're going to do. Quit putting it off. When we use the word someday, we are putting off our dreams indefinitely. That is sick. It's sick because you have something inside of you that matters. For example, if someone says, well, someday I'll write a book. Someday I'll create my course. Someday I'll start that business that I wanted to start. Someday I'm going to start an Amazon store. They're not taking any action toward their dream. And guess what? Gives you an out. Well, someday, so I can go watch Netflix now. I'll go watch Hulu because someday. I don't have to do it right now. I can do it later. The 9th word is the word hate. Now, this one, when I was growing up, we would say that to each other when we'd get mad at each other. We had a lot of brothers and sisters. I have 12 brothers and sisters. There are 13 of us. And we loved each other like crazy. But man, we were good at fighting. And we would use that word a lot. I hate you. And we would say that one. You're so stupid. Whatever, we would use these words. Well, I didn't like the way I felt when someone said that to me. Of course, I said it too, but I didn't like it. And so when I was raising my family, We decided those words were not allowed in our house. Hate, stupid, dumb, any of those words. And we never allowed it. And I will tell you, there is a feeling that comes into your home when you are not using negative words like this, hateful words. And what's interesting is my kids are grown now and I'm busy doing some other things. And every once in a while, when I want to say a word that's like really strong, I'll say the word hate. For example, I was trying to do my makeup in the car and I was in a rush and we were going somewhere and it was a super bumpy road. And I was thinking, oh, I don't have time for this. And I don't usually use this word, but I said, oh, I hate these roads. And as soon as I said it, just something in the atmosphere just felt, bleh, yuck. And it's interesting, when we didn't say it for so long, and now I started saying it again, I can't believe what a difference. And I have realized, ooh, it's not just because I want to be an example to my kids. It's not just because I don't want them talking to each other that way in my home. I don't want that feeling at all. So I don't even want to say that. That word, that's probably my toughest one of all of these, just because I had kind of started saying it. I don't even say it that often, but when you do, oh my goodness, it's a sense of negativity and dislike. That word, when we say the word hate, we are basically focusing on the negative aspects of the situation or of the object or the person rather than finding the positive. And your life is completely different when you focus on what you're grateful for as opposed to what you don't like. And I will tell you, it will affect your dream. It will make a difference where you end up in your life. For example, if someone says, oh, I hate my job, they are focusing on the negative aspects of their job rather than finding ways to improve the situation. Now notice, I didn't just say sit in a job that you dislike and just be, don't say the word hate. No, when you don't say the word hate, you have to replace it with something. Then you start looking for solutions and finding ways to solve problems. It's funny because in our home, because those words were not allowed. I remember one time I had some kids over. I was babysitting some other kids, and our boys came running down the stairs, and they were tattling on one of the little boys that was over to play. And they said, he said the S word. He said the S word. And I was like, oh my goodness. I thought he said that SH word, and I'm thinking, okay, I got to talk to them and help them be kind to each other. And when the other little boy came running down the stairs, he had the most confused look on his face, and he was worried. You could tell he thought he was going to get in trouble, but he did not. He was totally confused. And I said, what happened? And he had said the word stupid. And so my boys were freaking out because that word was not allowed. He said a bad word. And this poor little boy is thinking, oh, what did I do? I don't know what I did. And so in that moment, I thought, you know what? They feel the difference. And in that moment, I knew that my kids could feel the difference. They knew. Number 10 is actually a phrase, and it's valuable enough. Number 10 is actually a phrase, but this is extremely important, and it is so powerful in ruining your dream, ruining your life, that I'm including it here. It is, I am not good enough, which would include anything like, I did it wrong again. See, I can't do anything right. This phrase creates self-doubt. It absolutely creates self-doubt, even what wasn't there before. And you are building a foundation of self-doubt. When we use the phrase, I am not good enough, we are putting ourselves down and believing that we are not capable of achieving our dreams. If you were to say, if I said, every time you think that, I want you to replace it with, I don't believe in myself and I don't believe I'm capable of achieving my dreams. You would think, oh, brother, that's kind of dramatic. No, that's exactly what you're saying. That's exactly what you're teaching your heart. It's exactly what you're teaching your brain. Your brain is really smart, but you can twist it by the words that you say. So I want you to stop saying, I am not good enough. For example, if someone says, well, I'm not good enough, I can't do it as good as that person. Look at that. Why should I even try? You are limiting your potential and you're preventing yourself from pursuing your dreams. The words we use are incredibly powerful, and they can either help us achieve our dreams or they will hold us back. So I want you to pick one of those 10, at least one. And if you can do more than one, don't act like you're going to do all 10 at once, because now you're going to be overachiever, and then it'll be frustrating when you're not achieving it very fast. But if you'll just focus on 1 to 3 this week and get really good at not saying those, really stop yourself, then Once you stop doing 1, 2, or 3, then you can add more to the list of the ones that you're working on. These words are harmful. They create limiting beliefs that prevent you from achieving your goals. I want you to be able to achieve everything that you want. And I know that you can. I have worked side by side with so many people who I guide through the process of starting to believe and actually taking the steps that they've been wanting to take to make their dreams a reality. You know what? I have never worked with someone who did not end up being successful unless they would not stop the negative self-talk and stop using these kinds of words. Positive self-talk and affirmations can help us manifest dreams at a level we can't even imagine right now. I know I've told you before, my first business I tried a lot of little businesses over the years. The one where I went big and decided I'm going all in, I dreamed huge. I knew I was going to grow big and massive. I was confident. I was grateful. Not all the time, I certainly wasn't perfect. But that was like 90% of the time. I was going after it and I knew I could do it. And I knew that I was going to create a business that was at least 100,000 people. Now, millions of people later, this business is still going and it's still growing. And I will tell you this, that never would have happened if I had not had positive self-talk. We have to be mindful of the way we speak to ourselves and to other people, and we need to choose our words carefully. Don't walk on eggshells, but be aware. Just be really aware. When you watch for those words, and then as you're talking and you notice you say it, you say, oh, I'm trying not to say that word. Catch yourself. Make it fun. Don't make it like, oh, I did it again. Don't do that. Just be excited and get other people involved in what you're doing. If I'm talking in a huge group and I say, and I hate that, I'd be like, oh my goodness. Okay, I am working really hard to not say that word. I can't believe that word just came out of my mouth. And guess what? I would take a second to let them know I am working on being grateful. And that word is not grateful. And that's what I would do. So remember, what you manifest is what you will harvest. So choose your words wisely, and I want you to believe in yourself and believe in your dreams. And I don't want you to just think different. I want you to be different.